Right, jet setters. I thought I'd introduce me. Uh, just so you know, who I am in terms of a bit of backgrounding me. If you want to check out who I am, you can check me out on Facebook. But we go to LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile. Uh, look me up. These days, I spend most of my time as a musician. But I had, as you can see here, performer, musician, composer, singer, songwriter. Yes, with this voice, I sing and retired global head of emerging markets. This is what I used to do, right? So I joined Macquarie. I worked in Macquarie Group since 1989, and worked there for a bit over 20 years. Had stints obviously in Sydney, in South Korea, in the US, UK, Latin America. Doing a whole range of things. These days, music is my passion, which is really what I do. I've made my money in banking. Very fortunate, very blessed. But I still have traded the markets. That basically funds my music career. I'm 52 years old. There's some of my music. Check it out. Get onto YouTube, get on a SoundCloud, get on Spotify. It's all there. So since 2012, that's when I pulled up stumps, came back from overseas after my time there. It was time to come home for a few reasons. Out of the roles that I had at Macquarie, the role where I finished, I was an executive director. So that's sort of like being a partner. About 2.5%, 2% of Macquarie were executive directors. I reported directly to the global head of commodities and financial markets. He has $1 billion business, like his business. Mine was like a small division within his, right? Emerging markets was starting up. Over the life of the business, we made about like $100 million in revenue, just that emerging markets business. It was a startup, so we had a fair bit of costs, but I think it was like probably $40 million in profit, which is pretty good for the business. After I left, it was shut down because there was no one there that really had the passion to run it, and other divisions wanted to hoover our credit limits. So that was the business, and I started up. That was I was based in Miami, but I had a team in London and a team in New York, as well as the team in Miami. Lots of local clients in Latin America, lots of global macro hedge funds in Europe and the US. We traded a lot of bonds, currency, interest rates, distressed debt, structured equity products. We had a small advisory business. So I had a team of about 60, 70 sales and traders, people that reported to me, based in Miami, London, New York, and some in Sydney. Very fun business. That was during the GFC. We had that. We had a large repo book, which was lending over bonds. So that was an interesting time there in terms of managing the liquidity, and obviously margin calls. A lot of this debt moved around a lot. It's very volatile assets that we traded there. Venezuela, Argentina, smaller markets like Ecuador, El Salvador, Costa Rica. Corporate debt in there as well. So some really curly stuff. Before that, I ran a business in South Korea. It was like a local rates business. That was a really good business. Over the course of the business, made hundreds of millions of bucks there. And we traded swaps, currency swaps, like cross-currency swaps, currency options, structured retail products, which is, I couldn't even spell structured properly there. It was a very strategic business, as it was a joint venture with a local bank, Kerman Bank, and we were I was the business head to build that business for them. And during my tenure there, it really took off from just like a swaps desk to something that was integrated with their balance sheet. We did a lot of work with their corporate banking business in terms of loan products, but also their ALM business, the asset liability management team. Before that, I was trading interest rate options and worked on a trading and structuring desk for debt markets. That was in Sydney. I was running interest rate options book. That was a real bugger of a book to run. If you ever want to run a book, don't run an interest rate options book. Had some curly times there. I was running the options book over September 11th and also during some of those surprise Fed rate moves like in early 2000. It's early 2001 actually. Very volatile time in the markets. We had some big P&L swings in that book. Not as big as this one, and not as big as this one. They got bigger, but fun book to do. Really taught me about running complex options. Interesting. The models for options, typically the Black-Scholes, they work worst for interest rate options. They just are an epic fail. So managing that book is a bugger. Managing currency options is a walk in the park. Walk in the park compared to bond options and swaptions and caps and floors and all that kind of stuff. In all this, we did exotic options as well. Barriers, digitals, average rates, all that kind of thing. Before being on the trading desk, I worked in the risk management area. We did a lot of work with some of the remote offices, like in emerging markets. We also did a lot of work, particularly with the metals business and the FX business, where they trade a lot of exotic options and exotic products, a lot of structured products. People think that banks make money, their trading desks make money out of just like punting around, right? They don't, right? They make money out of structured products and client flows, good, juicy client flows. Either that or massive arbitrage opportunities. This business, we had some massive arbitrage opportunities, right? And we had some massive flows off the back of the balance sheet, right? This business was terrible because there was no client flows, or bugger all client flows, right? And it was just managing like really difficult risk. No fun, not very profitable, right? This business had some great client flows and had a very good structural advantage in terms of its repo book, right? Which provided very good lending margins over distressed debt and emerging markets, corporate and sovereign debt. Really good client base. So that's where the money came from, right? It comes from good clients, good arbitrage, good structural things, not just from punting around. Like people think Wall Street, they make all their money off our retail punters. Look, they make money, right? Because they do good structured products, not because they're trying to punt around and jub the markets, really, like what a lot of people that are listening to this, including myself at the moment, are doing. Before that risk management thing, I actually started off in IT, really fun roles there. So that's my training. So that was my story of my time in investment banking. And it worked out really well for me. As I said, very fortunate. Had a great ride. And since then, it's allowed me to pursue what I really love, which is music. But it's also allowed me to keep my hand in the markets. So I still trade futures and options, underlying equities, and futures over basically the Aussie, the bonds, the SPY, the S&P 500. I don't really trade the commodity options; they're too volatile. And when it comes to equities, really it's a bit of a buy and hold thing. My experience has been jubbing around on those, day trading. It's a total waste of time, high effort, low payoff. That's my experience. Anyway, look me up on LinkedIn if you want me to check it out. Check out my videos. Hope you like some of the songs. And thanks for watching the videos. I hope you find them useful. As I said, they're for education only. Right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. If you're going to trade the markets, find yourself an advisor. Find yourself someone who you trust and who's qualified to work with. I'm really happy to provide and share my experiences and my comments on what I've seen unfolding in the market and the trades that I've got on. But I'm not an advisor. I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm just sharing my experiences and trying to educate you through that along the way. All right, hope you enjoy the videos. It's locked down, so I'll continue doing them while it's locked down, and if I'm enjoying them and people enjoy them, then I'll probably continue doing them once lockdown is finished. Okay, all the best. Catch you later. Ciao.